wellness movement. And welcome to H.E.R Network on ZINGOTV channel 251. Remember to download both the Barn Burner and the ZINGOTV apps on your app stores. They're free. Leave a comment. ZINGOTV is also available on Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire and Fire Sticks, Roku and Roku Sticks, also on all smart TVs from 2016 forward. All right, that was the intro. I have a guest. Please intro yourself.
Hi, my name is H.E.R Serrano. I'm a good friend of Julie's. I live here in Southern California, just 4 miles outside of downtown LA. I work in PR, public relations, and also help people brand their companies when they're just starting out. So a little bit of pressure, you know, especially these days. It's been crazy. Like, oh man, I can't even tell you when the lockdown happened, the panic that ensued and the panic that came from me as well. It's like, but here we are, surviving.
Woo-hoo. Yeah, and I invited Jael to the show. So Kaz is going to be here every other week, and every other week I'm going to have a guest. And I thought to invite Jael because she had quite the health scare going on a short while ago around, I would say around this time last year. You were still struggling, were you?
Oh yeah. I think that this time last year was pivotal. This was the time where I actually, took my adventure of trying to find what worked for me a step further. And this is actually the month where I started testing the waters and researching different products that were all-in-ones. I like products that are kind of like the kitchen sink where I can get everything that I need because I'm a busy person. And I think a lot of women out there are, I'm a mother, but she wasn't small anymore, but still you're running a household, I make all the meals in my home, and then also running not just one, but several businesses. You start to overlook yourself. And I was ignoring a lot of stuff. I was ignoring a lot of aches and pains. And I think that, as not to discredit men, I'm sure they go through their own stuff. But women, we go through a lot of pain, we from the time we're, reach puberty and so forth and start moving on, we're experiencing all these aches and weird things. And so I think we grow accustomed to just being uncomfortable, which is not good. We start to ignore signs, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was also, aside from running that business, I was also running 2 bars in Hollywood. And so the hours were just ridiculous. I would get home super late. I mean, feet are hurting, hands aching. I was, a craft cocktail bartender. I would get behind the bar and help my staff as well when we were in the weeds. You just have to do what you have to do. And then, I would ignore it. I was drinking at work, doing all kinds of stuff because so many years in nightlife and entertainment, you start to like not put up with people's stuff anymore. So it was like a little liquid, like, oh, you know what? You're gonna act like that. Okay, I'm fine. And then, it's numbing after numbing after numbing, just dumbing it down. And that's exactly what led to my just collapse.
Yeah.
I got really sick. I was used to getting sick. I would always get like strep throat at least once a year, and not like lightly, like it would knock me out for like 2 weeks. I was susceptible to anybody who was sick in the room. I would catch it. I just thought that was normal. And, I grew accustomed to being sick until I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
And I think a lot of people are like that. They ignore the symptoms that their body is giving, the signals that their body is giving them. Yeah. They have like really poor lifestyle choices. I remember when the first lockdown happened and we were out getting groceries, I just saw people with so much processed food in their cart, so much sugar, so much junk. I just said to my partner, I'm like, the virus isn't going to get them. Their poor eating habits will.
Right.
And like just that ignoring. And the thing also is, I think so many people have things that are going on health-wise that they're numbing, and everybody around them is doing the same thing. So they don't necessarily have really good role models of showing them like, it is possible to be healthy, to be vital, to have energy, to be in a good mood, to not get sick. That's why, like you said, you just thought that it's normal to get sick.
Yeah. And it was when I did like when it finally hit me, the doctor I was seeing at the time, he was somebody that I got connected with through a client. He was actually, I guess they call them rock docs. He was a specialist, and he would fly everywhere to help all these musicians and stuff. So I thought I was in really good, capable hands. And oh man, it was just a downward spiral of medication after medication after medication, like that he kept putting me on, and then nothing was getting better. My symptoms were getting worse. I started to think the worst. And the funny thing, and this was absolutely nothing funny about it, but I say they, but he didn't help at all. He was more or less telling me, this is just how life is. You're over 40, and you just have to get used to it. Like, these things are going to start happening to you. And it's like,
did he offer to take you out back to shoot you? Like, seriously, this is just how life is. You're over 40. It's gonna suck. It's nothing but a downhill spiral from.
Yeah. And oh, okay. And here's the guy that gets to jet set everywhere, because he's making money off of all of us, and I got to tell you, he didn't take insurance. I was paying for this guy because I thought I was getting the best care possible, and it's, I was just, after being on so many pills, and the only relief that I ever saw in sight, and this is after having blood work done. I had testing. They couldn't find out what the heck was going on with me. Julie, I was getting that face. This is when it really scared me, was when I woke up in the middle of the night to use the restroom. I had been on steroids already. He had put me on steroids once because I had this rash that developed around my eyes out of nowhere. And it was almost kind of like eczema, but like welts, or when you get a blemish and it's underneath the surface and it just really hurts. That's kind of what it was like.
I have to say, I don't get blemishes very often.
Well, why am I even here?
Compliments on my skin.
Oh my goodness. Well, we can't all be, well, you know what? You can be like Julie Barr if you start eating well.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's interesting because, like, people love to think that, oh, it's some mystery illness. The root cause of all disease is a thing of a bunch of factors interrelated: stress, a lack of nutrition, and too much chemical toxicity in one's body.
Right.
So if you address those things, guess what the body will do? It'll give you health. So we overcomplicate it, and we think you go to this specialist and that specialist, and take this drug and that drug. And here's the crazy thing: all the drugs that the doctors put you on, they cause all of these side effects.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So many, especially steroids. Those were really gnarly, and to mask the effects of the mood swings and what they would do to your mind, like, oh, let's just stack some Adderall on top of that, and let's just, that's, you can't relax, okay, well, here's some Norco. It's like, I'm not kidding. It was that gnarly. And to be on some of these meds that psychologically are proven to shift you, you're releasing dopamine, you're doing all this stuff, but when that happens, what happens the next, when that wears off, you're miserable. You're so exhausted, and like, you just, what is wrong with me? And you just go into this ball of self-loathing. Like, it's me. It's like, what's wrong with me? And the funny thing is, Julie, is I didn't really eat a lot of processed food or fast food. It was the fact that I wasn't educated on the difference of why organic, and what the ramifications of not doing that would be. I mean, years and years and years of doing this, and I'm eating bowls of salad that are like, trying to get these leafy greens in. Little did I know, I was inundating my body with all these chemicals. Yeah. And of course, down the line, when I finally found the doctor and I got fed up and I said, I'm no longer taking these pills. I'm so sick of this. I'm tired of you giving me a cure in a bottle that doesn't cure me. You keep raising the dosage and I'm getting nuttier and nuttier. I'm already nutty by nature. I don't need to be any more crazy.
We should get you a shirt that says nutty.
That's great. I just, don't let Angelo hear that because he'll probably try to take it. But yeah, so, I just got fed up and I didn't recognize myself anymore. I didn't recognize who this person was. I was always a happy person. And, I was just like, why am I snapping at everybody? And not to mention the bloating and the water I was built like a burro after I could like lift weights like that were like 10 times like from these steroids. I was just like this little monster and it was crazy. But, thankfully, I then found a functional medicine doctor that almost immediately, Julie, when I went in there, here's where I knew we were going to make some headway together, is this woman looked at me, and when I was talking to her, she just stopped and like grabbed me and like gave me the biggest hug and said, we're going to fix this and you're not alone in this. And that was the first sign of like, oh my gosh, here's a woman that's actually gets it. She's seen it 1,000 times. And the first thing she did was order tests on my gut. And she said, with everything, like I said, I almost told you, like when I woke up in the middle of the night, I had that moon face. I blew up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I'd heard horror stories of that's like, C-reactive proteins being released into the body and all kinds of stuff. So
yeah. And for those who are not, or who are watching, who are like, oh my God, what could be going on? It's like when we're ingesting everything that we're intaking into our body ends up in our gut. And if you're intaking all of these toxic chemicals through the foods that you're eating, your body can only take so much. At some point, it'll just give out. And then what happened, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. What happened in Jael's case was that her gut was so messed up, was that even when she cleaned up her diet, all the foods that she was eating weren't getting absorbed into her body because her gut was so messed up. And I find over and over again with a lot of people in my work as a nutritionist, when people have skin stuff or autoimmune conditions or all of these different things going on, it's inevitably always gut related. So we have even depression, even mood disorders. Not all of them, but a lot of them, they're gut related. So once we address nutrition and gut health, we see a transformation. So I met the happy Jael back in February, post transformation.
Yeah.
So that functional medicine doctor, she put you on a raw vegan diet or something.
She put me on it was even more than that. I don't know if we have time. Do you want me to read down the list? I have it in my notes of what it was called an elimination diet, which is
I'm familiar. Yeah.
It's not just raw, like vegan. It's or vegan period. Like it's a lot of leafy greens. Yes. Let me pull this list up for you. I know I have it here. I have it under regimen. Because that's what it was, when I first started this. I had sent this to somebody the other day as well. I also have some befores and afters that I can show people.
Yeah, let's share the before and afters because
this is what my day was, just for you guys. I'll read it quickly. No breakfast, fast, water, tea, or celery juice or green juice only. Has to be 100% organic. No sugar of any kind, except for select fruit. See list. No dairy of any kind. No fats. No oils. No alcohol of any kind. No cruciferous vegetables like cabbage, broccoli, and nothing that can cause gas. Basically, no tomatoes. No grains of any kind. No caffeine. No legumes or beans. No pork. Lean, organic, grass-fed beef, free-range chicken. 2 to 4 ounces max a day. It has to be different every day. You cannot eat the same thing. So people that eat chicken consistently, your body doesn't have time to filter out whatever toxins are in that, because there are, meat is acidic. She recommended me stay away from it. No salmon, no shellfish, no sushi, no nuts, minimal garlic.
And I just want to chime in the no fish thing. Like a lot of people think that fish is healthier. Where do all the toxic chemicals end up? In the oceans.
In the ocean and parasites are really prevalent in fish, you know, like
Yeah.
especially raw fish.
So if
So
you're trying to heal your gut, you have to stay away from those foods.
yeah,
So
and we pretty much
anyway,
saw the parasite was
so you
present.
were allowed to have air.
Deep breath work every morning. That'll get you full. Yeah, it was a lot, you know, and but I was so desperate at that point. I just was like, whatever I need to do, if you think that this will make me, you know, return back to me, or at least a me that I'm comfortable with and new, you know, one that will survive, then
Yeah.
I'll do it. Cause I was literally, I was scared.
Can we see your before
Oh
picture?
yeah, let me pull that up. Ooh, let's see. I think I have it under weight loss pictures.
And I also want to, as she's looking for that, I just also want to say that a lot of times when people are looking for weight loss, when we change the diet, what we're really working on doing is drastically reducing inflammation. And once you reduce inflammation and balance hormones, your body will release weight. So it's not about the weight, it's really about addressing inflammation in the body as well as dealing with the gut. So let's see what you got.
Okay, so the far one, I think I explained this to you, so you know pretty much what everything is.
Yeah.
And I hope that they can. Is this okay?
So yeah, I can see. So the one where it looks like she's in a two-piece, that was her post-elimination diet. So she still had a lot of inflammation in her gut. And then this picture in the middle where she's got that nice bright smile. Also notice the expression on her face in that two-piece. Like her face is like really puffed
Swollen.
up,
Yeah.
puffed up. And then the middle picture, she's much
Right.
leaner and she's got that bright, beautiful smile. Find that photo for me again.
Sorry.
And that was her after she did a 30-day. She did a 30-day that really focused on flooding her body with nutrient dense foods and dealing with the gut. And then bring it up one more time.
Oh, sorry.
One more time. And then the picture on the far where she's wearing the pants and the hoodie, she's got that bright, beautiful smile again. She's smiling even bigger because she ended up doing it like a 10-day intensive, again, addressing inflammation and gut. So you're good there, Jael.
Okay, cool.
But
Also,
that goes to show the power of nutrition and the power of like really nourishing your body correctly. And a lot of people don't. So one of the stats that I heard from Dr. Mark Hyman when we went through our first lockdown back in March, the thing that's disconcerting about Americans' health is that 88% of Americans have some kind of chronic health condition. And if they have a chronic health condition, they have a compromised immune system, which makes them susceptible to bacteria and viruses. And so if we don't get back to addressing gut, and the other reason you always want to address gut health is that 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. So if you don't have a healthy gut, you're not going to have a healthy immune system. And so everything is interconnected. We like to think that things are separate, but yeah, there's this relationship of cells within our body that we want to be mindful and respectful of. So anyway, quite the transformation.
Thank you. You know, and I'm still going. You know,
Yeah.
this month I'm getting back into the weights and things like that to get some definition back in. Doing my yoga. Yoga helps a lot with stress, especially. And that picture, no gym time. I lost all that weight with no gym time. I was just doing walks with my dogs. They wanted me to not stress my body as much as possible. And contrary to popular belief, dieting and then going and doing like really aggressive workouts is counterproductive.
Yeah, so exercise is a stressor on our body. So if you're wanting to really rebuild your health and rebuild your gut, you actually have to back off of exercise and give your body that space to actually rebuild. It's very contrary to what we're taught. Like we're taught, oh, you want to lose weight? Well, you reduce your calories and then you just go bust it out at the gym. Not quite the case. It's like abs are actually made in the kitchen. So it's 80% nutrition and 20% movement. And I always encourage people, like when they're doing 30 days with me, like do less, go for walks, do gentle yoga, like get into a sauna if you can. do chill stuff. But anyway, what would you say to anyone who's like struggling with their health? Keep going or throw in the towel?
Cut out cut out the 4 whites immediately, and soda pop. Soda is the devil. Start to stay away from it. White sugar, white flour, cheese, and anything processed, just stay away from it. And start eating organic and intermittent fasting. Even if you don't change your diet, that makes such a big difference to give your body the rest it needs. We're not meant to have 3 huge meals a day.
No,
we're not,
like,
and your body,
historically, we would have gone, sometimes we would have gone like possibly a day, couple days, 3 days without food, depending on what the situation was. We live in a culture where we have access to tons of calories, but not necessarily a lot of nutrient dense foods. So I think let's let people know where they can find us on social so that they can connect. Where are you on Instagram?
I am a Transform with Jael on there. That's Transform with, and then Jael, Jael.
Yeah. And I am with @Julie Brar. You can find me on Instagram as well, where I share recipes and other health tips and all of that cool, fun stuff. We are heading into what I consider to be the biggest eating season of the year.
Yeah.
But I do have people who are starting transformations even in the month of December. And so it's really important to create a better relationship with food. So if there are foods in your life that are creating uncomfortable symptoms in your body, start to replace them with healthier options. Even on the baking side, there's tons of healthy, gluten-free.
Oh, so many now. So many options now. There's no excuses anymore.
For sure. So look for those options so that, yes, like you're having treats, but they're not the worst treats that you can find. So right before the show started, I shared with Jael a muffin recipe that I posted last week, and it's really healthy. It's full of healthy stuff. And that's like one of the options that we use in our household when we want to have treats. So look for those options, and just be kind to yourself, be kind to your body, love your body so that it can love you back. Learn how to nourish it with whole superfoods and nutrient dense foods. Thanks, Jael, for getting up out of bed so early.
Oh, yeah. My pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. So I'm going to just sign off here. So let's see. The show can also be heard on the Barn Burner Radio Network on its 122 platforms. The H.E.R network is part of the Barn Burner Network, Inc. Check out barnburner.ca for all news and programming. Barn Burner. Watch it, hear it, read it, download it, live it. Thanks so much. See you.